Welcome to another episode, another video conversation. And I can't say that it's my topic this week because obviously, as you can see, I have a guest. I am going to be introducing the amazing Suni in a few seconds here. But this week, our topic, Suni and I discussed this and we were having a chat and we thought, you know what? It's time to have a conversation about our fears around sharing our spirituality or metaphysical followings and beliefs. So if this is something that intrigues you, I hope you'll stay with us for this dialogue. Suni, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so looking forward to this.
I am as well. You know, when we first started talking about this conversation and this topic, you and I were both firing things off left and right. And we said, okay, this has to be a conversation that others can hear. So thank you for being open to this. I know you're open to just about anything. So thank you. Before we go any farther, Suni, can you tell everyone who you are, what you do, and why you're so fabulous?
Well, hi, everybody. I am Suni Moon, and I'm a holistic wellness practitioner. And what that means is I deal in a whole lot of energetic, spiritual, sound, healing modalities. And if I try to list all of those, and we'll allude to this, people have no idea what I'm doing. So my title right now where I'm working right now is holistic wellness practitioner. It's my job to empower you to embrace all that you have within you. And I do it with a lot of different techniques. We'll probably talk a little bit about that, but thanks so much for letting me join you.
Yes, I'm excited and I love looking at all the stuff behind you, and I know you're going to share what those all are. They're not just beautiful lighting. There's something about all of this stuff. So we're going to be talking about that. So Suni, first of all, I'm going to just say, anyone watching this, like, don't you know that you want to work with her just because of her name? Suni Moon. Hello. I mean, the energy there, I love it. You know, when I first met you, I thought, oh, I want to change my name to something cool like that because I just love it. And you're all about that. I don't know, when I think of you or talk to you or, you know, have an opportunity to be in your presence and your energy, I feel like I'm flowing. And whatever is happening between us, whether it's conversation or a meal together, the energy between us is really flowing. And I always feel very grateful for that time.
I think that a lot of that is due to both of us making sure we're open.
True.
Both of us can focus on that opening heart, especially during these transformative times. Then what we find is then there is that true give and take, that true communication.
Absolutely. So Suni, you live in a rather small town in Ohio. And how did you, I mean, so I'm going to be really facetious here and I'm going to say, so when you outed yourself and you started saying, I am Suni Moon and I do all this spiritual work and this metaphysical work, tell me, I just know that everyone was knocking on your door and trying to, you know, book an appointment with you because everyone was so open to it, right?
Well, that's not exactly how it went, Nancy. I'll try to give you the abbreviated version. I am living near my hometown in Ohio, but I didn't live here most of my life. And I worked in Toronto, I was in Cleveland, I was in Chicago, and I spent a long time living in Denver. And in Denver, I had switched my career choices. I used to be an engineer, of all things. It was a nice career, but it wasn't me. And in Colorado, I embraced wellness, energy work. I'm a master energy healer. I work with crystals, I work with aromatherapy, and I do all kinds of body work. And in Denver, I actually worked at the hospitals because the hospitals had energy teams. So 2001 came, we all know what happened in the fall of 2001. My sister says, I wish you'd come home. Well, when your baby sister says, I really wish you'd come home, you have to, oh, okay. So I did, I came home. And my dad was in his mid-80s, and coincidentally, 6 months later, he passed away. So I was so glad to be here. But I came rocking home to Canton, Ohio, and went to the hospitals to say, hey, I'm here. I'm, kind of sign up for your energy team. And they were like, are you a witch? And they didn't say that in a nice way. So I regrouped and I went back to school here to get licensed in Ohio as standard massage therapist. So I am a licensed massage therapist, and people here know what that is. So I was able to make a living. But that first reaction made me gun shy. And so I hid all of my toys and crystals and bowls and stones and tuning forks, and I simply did standard body work. Well, that was 20 years ago, and people here have changed. So I started introducing, like you might come to massage and see this, which is a body tuning fork. But people would say, what is that? And then I'd show them. Or I'd show up with this Tibetan bowl at the end of massage, and I might play it for them. And people have opened up a little bit. And what I realized is this is my passion. This is me. Massage therapy is nice, but I'm hiding. So I started opening up, and I've opened a new office where all I do is, I know it's a passé term and we're beyond it, but I'm doing my woo-woo stuff here.
Yeah.
Be as woo-woo as I can be. And this is kind of where we got to with the conversation. I'm beginning to try to embrace, this is who I am. And these therapies and this healing practice is very powerful, but everybody has perceived me as this traditional standard massage therapist. And suddenly I'm, like unveiling my crazy. And some people are embracing it. The younger women in particular are very open to this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trained in shamanic traditions, so I do all kinds of interesting stuff. But I'll put on a workshop and nobody signs up. And I think part of it is they don't understand. They're a little fearful and they don't understand. So part of what we're talking about today is how can we not educate, but maybe open some doors.
Right. Bridge that gap. Yeah.
Yeah. To help people see that what I'm doing may sound or look different to you, but when you experience it, my typical client, I had a chat with a gentleman who came to one of my sound baths, and his wife had brought him, and he stopped me afterwards and he says, I have no idea what you do. I don't get it. But he says, I feel great for a week afterwards. So I'll be back. And I thought I need that opportunity more to just show people what I do and help them open up to it. Says it's not spiritual practices, energy healing, metaphysical things aren't that far off from your day-to-day life. We've just been maybe trained, or we're just nervous about it, so we feel a little fearful. So
yeah, we've been really in the closet about it in a lot of areas. So these dialogues that I have with people, I always talk about the imposter syndrome and how the imposter syndrome feeds into our fear-based beliefs. So would you feel comfortable in saying that as you were opening up to your soul-based karmic journey here, your imposter syndrome was playing heavy on, oh my gosh, if I really come out of the closet and I really tell everybody what it is that I do, they're not going to accept me, or they're going to think that I am, somebody they need to keep away from their children and family members.
Feather rail out of town.
There you go. Yeah.
In fact, burned at the stake happened many centuries ago. Yeah, I do. And it's interesting because it's like I'm trying to not be the imposter that I built.
Mm-hmm.
I built this imposter who isn't me. And I mean, I still get tripped up, as we all do, in the traditional imposter syndrome with am I good enough to be doing this stuff? Am I well trained enough? And I am. When you get to be a certain age and you've done this for 30 or 40 years,
right,
probably you're okay. But yeah, I almost feel like sometimes I'm struggling with the reverse of, I've created this imposter and everybody loves her. Everybody works with her. Everybody's happy with her. And why can't I just stay there? But it's not who I really am. And it's not where the real power is. And a lot of my work is, when I work with a client, I want them to understand how to tap into their energy. I'm not special. All of us have so much in the spiritual, energetic realm as far as energy and higher wisdom. And I'm really trying to help my clients hook into that. So when they come to see me, they get a big, they start learning how to do this themselves. So it's really important for me, because we are in such changing times, and these sorts of tools that you and I are talking about, the metaphysical things, the energy things, the spiritual practices, are just what we need to help lift the world to this next level.
Absolutely. And I think earlier you were talking about a book that you're currently reading. Can you share a little bit about that? Because the topic really feeds into, what we're talking about here today. And it was said so succinctly that I think it's valuable.
Yeah, I had to put my glasses on because I don't want to read this wrong. I actually borrowed this book from the library and just started it last night, coincidentally, when we're going to have this conversation. But the book is entitled Open Your Heart, How to Be a New Generation Feminine Leader. And the author is Tanya, Tanya, Paluso, Paluso. And her premise was that women, especially women of my generation, for us to have succeeded in a traditional business in the corporate world, we had to adopt male characteristics. We had to have drive, and we had to be forceful, and we had to be tough, and we had to, give it our all, and no emotions. We had to be a lot of things. And her point is, in this newer world where many people are exploring heart-based living, opening your heart, she's saying that we as women, to succeed, need to find, like, the male characteristics are more the imposter, and we need to look within and embrace our natural compassions, kindness, emotions, intuitions. And in her book, and I've just started it, but I was so excited I had to tell you about it. She really was saying that it's important, especially for women, that we, one, learn what did we adopt that isn't really us.
Yes.
And two, to embrace the fact that I have innately certain characteristics that I should build on. You, Nancy, have different ones,
Yep.
but they're still part of, because there's so many kinds of women, and men fall in these categories too. They've gotten more tough and gotten disconnected from their feminine side. So she's talking a lot about leadership in this new time, in these transformative times, really calls us to dig in and say, who am I in here?
Right.
And what characteristics have I been taught, for some of us, since I was 20? Get tough, get tough, get tough. Now it's like, okay, let's let that go and just be all mushy and soft and nice.
Exactly.
But just encouraging that you and I have different strengths, and each of us need to go within and, find that and then build on it.
Right. And that's the a really golden thread that you just mentioned, because there are so many people who say, okay, I'm at that point, I want to have a home-based business or a soul-based business, but then they try to do what someone else is doing rather than find their soul purpose and connect with their soul's journey. So then we wonder, like, why we're not making it, so to speak, like, why aren't I successful? Why aren't I making the money that I want to make? And, when you can kind of circle back and ask yourself that question, well, am I being me? And to be able to even answer that question, you have to know who you are. Yeah. And if you've been living your life under the guise of imposter beliefs for years and years and years, those layers have to be removed as well.
They do. And I think so many of people, when they come to talk to me as a wellness coach or as a healer, they'll say, well, can you fix me? And it's like, no, but I can show you where the tools lie within you, because if I fix you, if I tell you what to do, that's this whole idea of who's the guru. Right. Each of us has to be the guru, because I came with a different set of talents and skills than you did. And if I don't express them, Martha Graham, who's a choreographer, said this much more beautifully than I. If we do not express that beauty that came within us, it will never be seen. The world will have to do without it. So I think, if anything, it's like, as we deal with our imposter characteristics, we really have to not come to me so that I tell you what to do. I help open you up. I help express. But boy, each of us, to me, that's what's been so empowering in my business. Each of us is going to be a little different. And each of us has to look within and say, well, I know Nancy does it this way. I feel like I should do it this way. Then go do it your way. Because that intuition, especially as women, we have it, in spades generally. Trust that. Don't step back and go, well, she does this, but I want to do it this way. You should fly we all should fly, and it's time. There's a channeler I study with a lot for many years. His name is Lee Harris. And Lee has said for a long time that his entities have been saying, now is the time, and you are ready. And each of us are ready in a different way for a different job. So to look within there and find that is, I'm just so excited by the whole thing.
As am I, and I always get, caught on to your exuberance. I love it. And I was thinking as you were talking that, so often throughout I'll just say the last 50 years, women have felt like they need the approval of another woman, like, oh, if my girlfriend thinks I shouldn't do this, then I'm not going to do this. So when we are constantly looking for validation or approval from our friends, our peers, our coworkers, our boss, our parents, our children, and they're not giving it to us, again, we're going outside of ourselves when the answer is always internal. And I think that you would agree with me that when you discover your life's purpose, when you are connected to your soul and you're living your soul's journey here, sometimes it can, not sometimes, most of the time, it's, if you allow ego to come in, you can go down that negative thought process of, oh my gosh, I'm alone, I'm lonely, nobody believes in me, but no one is going to until you believe in yourself.
And the people that we ask the opinion of have to also believe in themselves.
Exactly.
Because often they don't really know what to tell you because they don't know the mysteries within you, but they could still be in that place too. They're telling you what their mama told them.
Exactly.
We really have to, it's time to, and I try to play that role as best I can of, I'm trying to hear and open, as I hope other people do too, but boy, we need workshops, we need books, we need mentors, we need coaches, but the best ultimate encourager has got to be you. And if that's a skill you have to develop, let's go.
The mentors and coaches and teachers, they're guides.
Yes.
Guides. And at any point, we have the ability to turn around and say, no, I don't feel like I want to keep going in this direction. And the guide needs to be able to say, okay, so where would you like to go? Let's just step back and where would you like that to go? That's one of the things that I really appreciate about the word sensei, because roughly translated, it means before born. And that doesn't mean that I'm older than another person. It means the knowledge I have was born to me before it was born to another. And now if this other person has need or want of that knowledge, they know they can come to me for that knowledge and then do with it what they will.
Yeah, they may do something very different. You might share this nugget of wisdom and somebody takes it and flies off in a totally different direction.
Right.
And as coaches and mentors, we just go, oh, it's so wonderful, fly.
Yes. But we started this conversation talking about when you're in a geographical location where you have a brick and mortar business where someone physically comes in to your space and you work with them. And the work that you do is typically maybe not known so well, or I'm even going to go so far as to say not accepted. And the only reason that something's not accepted is because it's new, and change always freaks people out. But change is where the growth is. Change is where all the awesome stuff is. Change, if we're not changing, like everything is energy. Every living thing is energy. And so energy is constantly moving. Moving is changing. If something's here and now it moves over here, it's changing. So change is good. But so many people have that thought process of change, bad, scary, ooh, yuck. So how did you, if you were going to impart some wisdom to people about how you stepped out of those imposter beliefs, or that imposter that you created in order to open up to your soul's journey, what would you say?
I think first, the process right now is I have to believe I have to really love myself and believe in this real me. And even though she's been hidden for a long time, I have done rituals and ceremonies at home. But do I ever do them in front of people? Well, that's when my imposter steps in. So I really think that part of it is I have to really love me, and I really have to know me. And then it's really, you've got to just be ballsy enough to say, hi, I do a sound bath, which is a time when you allow sound to heal your body. It's a wonderful experience. Come on in. So I really have to be more open. I think at first when I started this office, I tried to soft sell it a little bit. Well, I'm a wellness coach and I work a little bit with sound. Well, really, I'm a sound healer, but I have to be brave enough just to be more open, because as each of us expands our practice into something that is maybe more truly us, I don't need thousands of people. So in the thousands of people that I might sell to, what if I got a couple dozen? What if I got 100? Could I build a practice, or begin to build my practice on 100 people? Oh, heavens, yes. But we talk to this one person and they go, oh, and then we get afraid to talk to another. So I really think the first thing you have to do is you really have to be in love with you, and you have to be that cheerleader, right? Every morning looking in the mirror saying, this is who we are, and the world needs us, and this is who I was born to be. And nobody can really say that to you but you every dang day. So a lot of it has to be, don't expect somebody else to jump up and down. Of all the people I've explained what I do to, there's been 2 that jumped up and down. You jump up and down, and I have another friend who jumps up and down. It's like, oh my God, really? You do that? I can't wait. And a lot of people just go, oh. And I have to still accept the oh as they heard me, and how can I educate them more in a loving way?
And it's about sharing our message, not forcing our message.
Oh, absolutely. We just have to radiate it, because as I shine, every once in a while, somebody sticks their head in this door and goes, are those Tibetan bowls? And I go, come to me,
Yeah.
They have a tiny seed of knowledge. But for all of those who don't have that knowledge, I really think that we live in a tough time, because this transformation we're going through, I find so exciting, and I know you do too. But the average person who watches the news a lot has been made afraid.
Yes.
And that fear marketing that whoever the powers to be are doing is to keep you small and compliant. And that's not, we're never going to go back. We don't really want to. We want a kinder, more open, more sustainable world that's good for you and me and all the people and all the plants and all the animals. So I see it as, first I have to remember people are afraid, not of me, but they're afraid.
Right.
So how do you approach someone who's afraid? With great love.
Exactly.
What's the opposite of fear? Love. So we just have to love them.
Yeah, because there are only 2 emotions based off fear or emotions based off love. And so when you learn to step back and say, okay, I'm feeling X. Now, is that coming from love or is that coming from fear? And when you can determine that it's coming from fear, it's not real, because it's not. Everything we're here to do is based out of love. So somewhere along the way, the fear was taught to us. And also I was going to say, when you were talking, that, there are a lot of really great network marketing companies out there with great products, but somewhere along the line, someone got the idea that there had to be so much subterfuge, like I'm going to hide it under this layer and this layer. So, you can't even ask someone, so what do you do? Oh, well, I X, and then I Y, and then I up, and then I down. And then you're like listening to it. And then finally you're like, oh, so you sell this, or you share this. And I always feel like that's part of the imposter syndrome too, because it's like, if you love something, if you're bajiggity about what you're doing, freaking stand up and go, man, I am really bajiggity about this product or this company or whatever. Own it, absolutely own it. But when you're coming at things from this level of hiding it and going around the bush and people don't like to be lied to. I mean, no one likes to be lied to. So I just lost my earring here. But, so I think that feeds into the imposter syndrome as well.
It does, because and I do it, this whole idea of being a holistic wellness practitioner. I'm a healer. I'm a healer. I don't hit you in the head and you're magically well. But when I say holistic wellness practitioner, I have to explain it. Well, when I say, yeah, but I'm a healer, and I have to explain that too, but they come across differently.
Mm-hmm.
The one is I'm passionate about. And so, we hide it to make it palatable, but who are we making it palatable to? The masses?
Right.
I don't need masses.
Right.
I'm never going to appeal to the masses. But if I appeal to the groups, or this friend and that friend, and then they bring 3 more friends, and then we have a little event, people will feel our passion, our love, and then they'll know it's okay.
Right.
If we wrap it in too much subterfuge, I think our passion gets dumbed down a little bit, and I don't think they know, can I trust that?
Right.
They aren't feeling the love as much. So I'm learning. I'm like, I should be taking notes, because I'm learning as we're talking. It's like, I'm still doing it to myself. I have to really be as forthright as I can about what I do, because it does make me jump up and down when I tell you about what I do. But when I go, well, I'm a wellness coach and I'm a holistic, and it's like, I have to think about what my title is.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing it to myself too. So we really just have to embrace who we are, knowing not everybody's going to receive it. But for those who are looking for a healer, we're looking for a sound therapist, they're going to go, you do that? I didn't know you did that. It's because I don't put it on the ad.
Yeah.
Oh, so.
And as my beautiful friend and mentor, Bronwen Sciortino, says, get rid of the labels.
Mm-hmm.
Eliminate the labels. Everybody at some point, when you're taught to network, then you're taught to have an elevator speech. And so it's got to be something that's catchy and grabs people. And, I honestly think that now most people, just tune out during any so-called elevator speech or introductory, because, for you to say, I do this and I do that and I do this, and then I help people do this, and no one can do something for another person. We can share information, we can share modalities, we can share ideas and concepts, we can share our energy, but no one can be a substitute for someone else. So when you release the labels and let go of the labels, then the next question to ask yourself, well, okay, what's left? And that's where the juicy part is, because that's when you can see, well, what's left is that soul part of me. So that's what I want to share.
Yeah, instead of what I do, people really today, and a lot of marketing is aiming this way, re-aiming, is they want to know who you are. Exactly. They want to know what you value. And so I do this and I do that and I do this. I go, what kind of person are you?
Yes.
What do you value? What do you honor? And once they find out, and that's part of the fun with those of us in woo-woo land who do spiritual work and metaphysical work, people step back. They just want to know who you are. Mm-hmm. And when people meet me, they you seem like a normal kind of person in a nice way. So they want to know who we are and not so much what we do. And so the labels aren't so important, because when I have to tell you who I am, I'm passionate about empowering people to live a healthier, happier, more true life. Oh, well, that doesn't sound so scary.
Yes. And going back to the energy, people feel your energy. You could be saying one thing, but they're feeling your energy, and they know, they might not consciously know it, but intuitively they know, like, I don't know, what you're saying and what you're feeding me and what I'm feeling, it doesn't match. And they're not going to want to hang around you or listen to you for very long. So when you have this script that you've learned and you get up in front of people and you say, I do X, Y, and Z, but people are getting that mixed message intuitively, you're not really sharing your message on an energetic I don't want to say level, because there are no levels, but from an energetic way. So, and then you wonder, like, why isn't anyone calling me? Why isn't anyone want to have a conversation with me? What? Oh my gosh, I'm going to go out in the garden and eat worms because nobody wants to hear about my beautiful, wonderful business. when actually it's simply, your higher self indicating to you, like, be you. Who are you? Pull away the imposter mask. Let people see who you are. Be authentic. And it's going to change everything.
Absolutely. I mean, how many of us have written that elevator speech and then tried to memorize it, and then when I go to talk to somebody, I'm trying to repeat what I wrote. Well, energetically, what are you getting? Nervous,
Yep.
uncomfortable, off balance. And even though my words might be healing, empowering, but it's exactly what you said. The pieces don't match. People will say something's a little off there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I come out, maybe I don't verbalize it right, but I am doing this most exciting work and I can teach you how to do it too. It's so much fun and it's great for your wellness and it brings you great joy. And then I can show or tell, but at least they got me. They got the truth. They got this heart open thing. And I believe that when we open this, whatever comes out is going to be right. It's going to be what that person you're talking to needs to hear, even if they don't buy your business.
Right. And our heart is the center of everything. I mean, it's the organ that develops first in the fetus, and it's the most powerful, energetic. It's your toroidal field, where you're right there, and whatever is emanating from your heart chakra or your heart area, that's going to determine the rest of your energy. So if your heart is closed, your shoulders are going to be hunched, everything's going to be closed, you're closed off. But when your heart is open and you're sharing from a, hey, let's party like purple attitude, I mean, oh my gosh, the world is fabulous, and fabulous people come into your life, and fabulous things come into your life, and experiences, and it's amazing. But then we go back to that, oh, that can't be true, it can't be that easy, and then we go back to that closing ourselves off.
Yeah, we have been raised, we live in a world, at least in this country, where everybody thinks they are their brain.
Right.
All this, well, I have to figure this out, and I have to make a decision, I have to weigh and balance, and because you and I work in this spiritual, energetic, metaphysical sort of world, we have studied enough that says this really is the power source. This sends way more messages to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And so people step back and they want to go back to their comfort zone. Well, let me think it through. I teach a lot in meditation, and people just so identify with their brains. And when you start getting them down into their heart, they suddenly find calmness that they could never find up here. So, it's just, if we start running our business that way by, let me show you what I am. Let me show you what's in my heart. And even if I'm not smooth and it's less than 30 seconds and I used all the buzzwords, people will go, she's real.
Yes.
I don't know what the heck she does, but I like her.
Yeah, because they feel you, they feel it. They feel your energy.
And they feel safer than, even though I'm talking about things that might make them a little nervous, if I could take a tuning fork and tweak it and actually put it on their arm and say, this vibration creates that. And they're like, oh, well, this isn't so scary, because they've gotten to see something in real. So it's up to each of us to figure out how to teach our clients, our family, whoever we're trying to work with, why we do what we do, and, why it's good for them, why at least it's delivered in love,
Exactly. And especially right now, when everyone is practicing social distancing and isolation, and maybe they're spending way more time with their family members than they ever have, and as long as they can remember, and they're realizing, like, why aren't I enough? They're asking themselves this question: why aren't I enough for my family? Why do we not like being together? Why is so-and-so not enough for me? When you start asking yourself those questions, the only way you're going to get those answers is to go within. But if you are afraid and you view it, like you say, woo-woo, like, oh, that can't be it, that can't be the way it is, you're going to keep experiencing what you're experiencing. And the only way out is through.
Yeah, the only love, the only completeness is here.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you may have always thought you needed a partner, a house, a big job, a car, and all those things are nice, but the only completeness comes right in here.
Right.
The spirit, the wholeness, the energy source is really here. And people get a little afraid to want to look within, because they've never gone there, and they're kind of like They're not sure what's in there. It's
Mm-hmm.
only good. It's only light. And once they start catching our passions and our happy buzz, I think people are a little more comfortable. But it's been a big challenge, and I'm actually more excited since we're having this conversation. It's like, yeah, I should do what I'm saying. To do, but I always feel this way when I have conversation with you. I always
Aw,
get so energized because
thank you.
somehow you say something and I say something, and then it's like I listen to what I said. It's like, I'm right. On my own, I don't always find it. So that's why you do these conversations. I'm so glad.
Yes, absolutely. And, it's part of why I love bringing these new conversations every week, sharing a tip here or a topic here, and helping people to start thinking outside of what I call the known zone. And, that's a Nancy word, so don't try to Google it and think, you're going to get some Freudian explanation for that. And it's that place in your mind that that thought, that belief where you say, I know if I do this, that this will be the outcome. And that's where we think we're safe. But that's where we are sabotaging change. We're not allowing change to come to us or to open up to us. And remember, all the good stuff is where the change is. And it doesn't matter what kind of change. It doesn't matter if you're unhealthy and you want to get healthy. It doesn't matter if you're going through a divorce, or it doesn't matter if you're getting married or having a child or deciding not to have a child, or you're changing jobs or staying with your job. Change is change. Whatever changes, embrace it.
Absolutely. I took a picture the other day of a plant I saw on a hike, and it had brilliant red leaves. And I realized we are so fearful of change within ourselves, but we watch change in nature all the time.
Yes.
Who doesn't enjoy watching those trees turn brilliant yellow, orange, and red? And then they actually let go of their leaves. And in the spring, they grow new. Trees and nature embrace the beauty of change, but and I think it's partly because we live in kind of a fearful environment right now. Change is the only way to grow. Change
And
is
the letting go.
change is the only way to discover something new. If you don't step off that ledge, you're never going to fly. And you don't step off the Empire State Building the first step, but take those little risks.
Yep.
Be a little open to, my friend says she does this, sounds a little weird to me. Give it a try. Open up a little bit, but trust your intuition. You don't have to do everything everybody tells you to do, but listen to that little voice within. Often our little voices have been trying to pull us towards something since we were kids.
Right.
But we go, oh, well, that's nonsense. Now these are the times, the transformative times, to sit still and go, what is that little thing? Whether it was, I always wanted to be a painter. Well, yeah, but that's no way to make a living. I'm a painter now.
Yes.
And it's a big part of who I am. It's not about money, even though I do make money that way, but it's like each of us has that thing. And so we are not going to find running here and there. What should I be? What should I be? What's the real me? No. It's always right here. It's always right here. So.
Yes, you have to be open to your soul's journey. We all are part of the collective, but we came here to individualize our individual karmic journey. And while we're still part of the collective, knowing what our soul purpose is what helps us embrace, empower, uplift the collective. Right. So it's always coming back to us, like, what do we want? How are we going to feel the most empowered and love ourselves the most? Mm-hmm. Suni, I think if nothing else, people just need to follow you on Facebook, seriously, because your pictures that you post when you go for walks in nature, and some of the pictures that I see you post, it's like, seriously, is that something real? Is that something she found on a path? Oh my gosh, your pictures are fabulous. I love what you share. Can you share with people how to connect with you on social media?
Well, probably the easiest way is just go to SuniMoon, SUNIMOON.net, which is my website. And all my links to Facebook and whatnot are all there. I'm SuniMoon Wellness on Facebook. I think I'm SuniMoon Wellness on Instagram also. And I do share a lot of visuals because I'm a visual person, and I find, you know, like, where's God? God is in here, but God's also in the woods for me. So I do find a lot of beauty there, and I do share a lot of stuff. And because I'm an artist, I also add a little magic sometimes. But SUNY, SUNI, Moon, MOON.net will find my website, which then connects you to everything in social media.
Well, I can tell you, I, for one, am so happy that you broke through the imposter beliefs and the imposter syndrome and practice every day to be your authentic you, because otherwise I know we would not have come into connection or contact, because we wouldn't have been vibrating on the same, you know, wavelength. And, you know, if you're not vibrating on the same wavelength, they're just going to keep passing like two ships in the night there. So I, for one, am very, very blessed and grateful that you're in my life.
Thank you. I feel the same way. I think we might have met, through Bronwen.
Yes. No, you met Bronwen through me.
That's what I mean, but that was the
Oh,
connection. She was
yes.
the connection.
We had to bring someone all the way from Australia
To meet.
Yes. Isn't that so amazing? Again, Bronwen, you're amazing. Your work is amazing. We salute you.
Yes, we do.
But I hope that you who are watching this have gleaned something from this, opened your mind, opened your heart, something, if you feel a pull, something that is saying, there's something I need to look at. Maybe that's all you need to accept right now. It's just something that you want to look at. And if you liked what you heard here, subscribe to our channel, share the video, let others know, hey, I found a piece of information that started me thinking in a different direction. And I can't tell you exactly where it's going yet, but I feel like it could help others in their direction, especially if it's someone who is working a soul-based business or a business where you really want to be your authentic you, but you find that you're still hiding behind something. It's time for you to step out and be loud and proud about who you are and what you do, and let the world know why you're so fantastic and why your soul's journey is what it is to be who you are. So subscribe to the channel, share, and as a closing to this, I've asked SUNY to play some bowls for us, some beautiful, wonderful sounds. So I am going to remain quiet while SUNY does her magic.
Well, I told Nancy I wasn't exactly sure because I never know what's going to happen, but I use sound, the vibration of sound, to shift the energy in your body. And so I'm in person with you, I can direct these over your body, but even online, sounds are very, very interesting. And these are just tuning forks, and I use them in healing. Different sounds, different energy. I wish I could, I don't know how that comes across. But my first sound therapy was Tibetan bronze bowls. These are hammered from 7 kinds of metal, and this one actually is very, very old. And they're used as meditation tools. I hope you can hear it sing. There's many different notes in its song. Each bowl is different, just like us. But the practice of playing it is you must play it. You must be going slow enough, but not too slow, and fast enough, but not too fast. Keeps your attention in the moment. Rumi said, out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And when our souls lie in that grass, all thoughts will pass. All thoughts will pass. Nancy, I thank you for allowing our souls to connect. And I hope that some of what we said and the sounds of the bowls might help you also connect to a part of you that's been a little starved for attention. So it's been so nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Nancy, for all your help.
You're most welcome. Thank you. And for all of you watching, have a really wonderful rest of your day. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller saying ciao for now.